Okay. Okay.
Okay, we're good. Thank
We're
you.
good? Is it 10:30 yet?
Yes, Mr.
Okay.
Valenti, let's get going.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. For Charm TV, we're about to begin. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Thursday, February 23rd, 2023 hearings of the Board of Liquor License Commissioners for Baltimore City. We have a lengthy docket, so Mr. Chair, do you have any introductions or?
No, let's get started.
Okay. First item on the docket has been postponed at the request of the community and will be scheduled at a future date of the board hearing, which brings us to item number 2 on the docket. CVP Cross Keys Holdings LLC, trading as Village of Cross Keys. Proposed premises are located at 5102 Falls Road. This is a marketplace license beer, wine, and liquor application for a new beer, wine, and liquor marketplace license under the provisions of the Alcoholic Beverages Article 12-1001.4, requiring $5 million in capital investment in restaurant fixtures and facilities. The location of the market in the 41st Legislative District in an area bounded by Cross Keys Road on the east, Village Square on the south, Interstate 83 on the west, and Hamlet Hill Road on the north. At least 3 food and beverage establishments, at least one of which is licensed to conduct off-premises sales that open to the public on or before July 1st, 2022, or are expected to open within 6 months of the issuance of the license. Minimum maximum capacity of 500 individuals as determined by the city fire department, and average daily receipts are at least 51% from food sales. A marketplace license with beer, wine, and liquor would allow for one or more establishments within the marketplace by the drink or by the bottle for on-premises consumption. The applicant is also requesting live entertainment, outdoor table service, off-premises catering, and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Caroline Hecker, Rosenberg, Martin Greenberg, on behalf of the applicant. I am joined by my colleague, Drew Tilden. Lauren Murmuran is our individual licensee applicant. We also have with us Arsh Murmuran and Patrick Terranova, who are part of the developer team ownership.
If you're going to ask them to speak at all, let's swear them, okay? Those who are going to testify at all, please raise your right hands.
Swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and the statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do.
Okay, now, you want to walk us through this then?
Yeah, with your permission, I'll proceed by way of a proffer, and then we can certainly answer any questions that you
Okay.
have. I think everyone is probably familiar with the Village of Cross Keys. It was constructed in the 60s. It was a real, community center, gathering place, retail center, an early mixed-use development. It included office, retail, residential, hotel components. Fell into decline in the early 2000s, and in 2020, the current owner, an affiliate of Caves Valley Partners, acquired the center and has been injecting an influx of capital into redeveloping it and revitalizing the center. I included an article in the file that just talks about the investment. It's about a $27 million investment in the site. And they're doing a facelift of the retail areas, renovation of the space, and really bringing it up so that it can become a new village center again, the way it had been in the past. So one of the boards that's here, and we have the photos in the file as well, shows some of the improvements, and there's also some renderings in the file that show what they're proposing. What we really want to do is activate the retail space. If you're familiar with the site, and we have a large version of the site plan here, there's a smaller version in your file as well. And I know I'm moving away from the mic, so I'm going to pull this a little bit closer because I know this is all supposed to be recorded. So, excuse me. What you can see is that there are a number of food establishments that are proposed here. And the idea with the marketplace license, which was authorized by special legislation in the General Assembly, is to allow one license to cover the entirety of the retail area. So folks can enjoy their beverages outdoors, they can move around within the center and enjoy live entertainment outside and have just a real gathering place. So what you see is the first establishment that's proposed to open is called Easy Life Sunday. They're going to open very shortly.
Is that the old deli?
Is it the old
It's not
deli?
the old deli, it's the old Village Square Cafe, right next to the former Roost.
There you go.
Okay.
So they'll be located here. They'll have an outdoor courtyard located here. They're a breakfast, lunch, brunch type restaurant. We will also have a market that will be located here. There's an Asian concept restaurant here, a seafood restaurant here that will include an outdoor bar area up here. And then there's a Latin restaurant proposed with some outdoor dining up here as well. There may be other
Is that where the
food.
Donna's space was?
Yeah.
Yeah, up
Correct.
at the top there. There may be some other food, certainly other retail operations within the center, but this is what's proposed initially. But because Easy Like Sunday is getting ready to open, we're now in a position to start with the marketplace license. And as Mr. Blendy indicated, one of the requirements is that the first establishment open within 6 months of the license being issued. Mr.
Go ahead, please.
Mr. Reisinger?
We're not here for zoning, but is that the PUD?
Yes, I was getting to that. There is a PUD
okay,
for,
I'm
no, you're fine. And I've included in the file a copy of the PUD, which was established, I think it was the first or second PUD that was approved in Baltimore City. It's a really old one. But it was recently amended, and you may have been in the council when it was amended. I'm getting my dates a little fuzzy, but I'm sure you remember the PUD being amended. Went through an extensive community outreach process, and we've included in the file some of the letters of support that were from the original, or the most recent PUD amendment that talk about the concept in terms of the market center retail restaurant components. So yes, so it is authorized by the PUD, and this was part of what was contemplated originally. And as I'm flipping through my file here, you'll see we have the PUD in the file as well. Let's see, I've gotten a little bit off my script here, but in any event, Ms. Moran is our individual licensee applicant. She is part of the ownership team, and so she will be ultimately the person who is on the license, but each of the individual vendors will have their own, people who are tip certified who will manage the individual restaurant spaces. They'll have varying hours of operation depending on the restaurant concept. For instance, Easy Like Sunday, which is our breakfast brunch spot, will be an early morning place that will close probably, late afternoon, early evening. The restaurants will probably stay open later, and as those come online, they'll be added to the license. Excuse me, through the ordinary process that we've used for the other marketplace licenses in the city. They have to provide copies of their own permits and licenses to the liquor board. They each have to provide evidence that one of their representatives is tip certified. So they'll all have to go through a policy or a training for that. Part of the leases for each of the restaurants requires that that they comply with the rules and regulations of the liquor board, that they have a policy to ensure that they don't card minors. It'll be up to the individual restaurants to monitor their own spaces, but overall the landlord will retain control of the license, which is what's been really successful in other similar marketplaces.
Is it 4 that are going to be there? Is that what it is?
I think we have 6 at the moment, is that correct?
Establishments.
Establishments.
Yeah, with alcohol, I mean.
Yes.
The plan right now is four places.
Can you step up to the mic if you're, it's okay.
I'm sorry, can you also identify yourself?
Yes, I'm Arsh Moran, the developer of the project. So right now, we're contemplating 4 sit-down restaurants, and then we're working on getting a gourmet market and wine shop. So there'd be 5, and then, as Caroline says, potentially a 6th, but right now I think sort of the baseline is that we're assuming we'll have 5 establishments.
Okay. And the licensee will have overall supervision of all of them.
Correct.
Right, and that was intended to give the landlord the ultimate control over, and it gives the landlord an incentive to make sure that the licensed establishments within the marketplace comply with all of the rules and regulations of the liquor board. With regard to the requirements for the license under the statute, it is required that the owner of the marketplace be the licensee, and so we've included the SDAT sheet in the file that shows that the applicant entity is the owner of the property. There's a $5 million capital investment requirement. There is a breakdown of that in the file that shows a capital investment of $8.45 million in tenant improvements alone for the restaurants. There's the news article from The Sun that's in here as well shows there's a $27 million investment in the center overall. And we don't believe that there's going to be any difficulty meeting the requirement of 51% of the average daily receipts from the sale of food. These are restaurant concepts, and their primary focus is food sales. There is a public need and desire for the license, as demonstrated by the letters of support in the file and the overall support citywide for the PUD amendment, and to get this center back to the glory that it used to have as a central gathering place for the community.
Is Ms. Cook staying there?
Yes,
She's been there a long time.
she will be there as long as she would like to be there.
There really aren't any other existing license holders in the vicinity, so there's no one that this will impact or have any kind of adverse effect on. This is a unique, a unique operation. It's authorized specifically by state legislation for this site, and we do believe that there won't be any negative impact on health, safety, general welfare of the community by the issuance of this license.
When do you anticipate that the Easy Like Sunday might open?
They are currently planning on opening mid-March. They haven't announced an official date, but somewhere March 15th, possibly within a week of that. But their goal is March 15th.
And these other restaurants went this summer sometime, maybe? Or?
Yeah, so the next one to open, which would be the Gourmet Market and Wine Shop, would be slated to open late fall, early winter. And then there are two other restaurants that we think will open spring of '24 and then fall of '24. One of the things that I discussed with Mr. Blendy is the current legislation contemplates the 3 establishments opening within 6 months of the issuance of the license. We're working with Senator Carter, and she has introduced an amendment to the bill to give us 2 years. And we actually have a hearing in Annapolis tomorrow, and it's been generally supported. But that 6-month requirement is going to be amended during this session to be 2 years, so that we'll be in compliance there.
You better hope.
Really better hope. But I'll knock on wood.
Commissioners have questions?
No question.
Live entertainment.
Yes.
Tell me about the nature of the live entertainment.
Well, you want to answer
No,
that?
it's up to you. I mean, I'm happy to, or you can.
Well, I'll take a run on it. You
Okay.
can tell me if
All
I'm
right.
wrong.
Right.
But the idea is that, because the center is built around this courtyard space, that they would have, small bands, out there, musical acts, for people to come and enjoy. They can sit at the restaurants and enjoy. They can walk around with their cocktails and enjoy the music. The great thing about this site is that it's not in any immediate proximity to residential, so there's no one that they're going to disturb by the live entertainment. The homeowners association here has been very supportive of it.
So there's still offices on the up?
There are,
Yeah,
yes.
okay. Okay.
Nothing further.
Anything else?
No, good.
Okay, all right, thank you. On the basis then of the materials contained in the application and the extensive materials that have been provided by counsel, her proffer and the testimony received this morning, I'd vote to approve this application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor marketplace license with live entertainment, outdoor table service, off-premise catering, and delivery of alcoholic beverages. Commissioners?
Based upon the application, the proffer, and testimony before us, I too would approve this new Class B beer, wine, and liquor marketplace license with live entertainment, outdoor table service, off-premise catering, and the delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Yes, based on testimony and materials provided today, I also vote to approve the application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor marketplace license and a request for live entertainment, outdoor table service, off-premise catering, and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Ms. Russell?
Article Exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, Business Plan.
Thank you, folks. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
That concludes this matter before the board. Council has received instructions on how to legally complete the required document submissions to obtain the new license that the board preliminarily approved today. Shall we move forward? Mr. Chair. Item number 3 on today's docket, La Calle Restaurant LLC, trading as La Calle. Premises are located at 623 South Broadway. This is an application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license under the provisions of the Alcoholic Beverages Article 12-903C2 little I, requiring $500,000 in capital investment in restaurant fixtures and facilities, minimum 51% food sales, a seating capacity for a minimum of 75 but not more than 150 individuals. Applicant is also requesting outdoor table service.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Brian Cater for the applicant. I have with me the individual licensee, Luis Sandoval. And this is going to be a much simpler matter than the prior one.
Let's swear Mr. Sandoval in case you want to ask him any questions.
Sure.
Okay? Please raise your right hand, sir.
Do you swear or affirm I apologize. Do you swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Good morning.
Can
Okay.
you spell- can you spell your full name for the record?
Luis Sandoval, L-U-I-S, Sandoval.
It's on the docket.
Yeah, I see.
Okay. All right, Mr. Cater, do you want to proffer for us?
So in your submitted materials, we've provided evaluation of the fixtures and improvements to the facility, exceeding the $500,000 minimum, approximately $750,000 in improvements that have been made. We've provided a sample menu that is actually the menu that was being used in their prior location at 10 South Street. And we have an updated floor plan that I can provide to you right now that better shows the outdoor seating area and the seating capacity.
That's fine. You want to hand it up?
Sure.
It'll be received. Thank you.
And the indoor dining capacity is going to be 84 seats, so meeting the 75-seat minimum. With the seating at the bar and outdoor seating, the total capacity is going to be 124 seats.
Okay.
Yeah, as I mentioned, this is a new location. They were previously at 10 South Street, and Mr. Sandoval has owned and operated the restaurant since September of 2018. In that time, you know, he's now got experience running that restaurant. He's not a new restaurateur who's going to be coming in and failing and leaving Fells Point in a matter of a year. He's also gone through the TIP certification process and has systems in place for training his employees on those matters. And they've, in the 4.5 years that they've been operating, they've never had a violation. The business has been very successful in the old location, and they're funding the move to the new facility out of cash reserves that have been generated by the old business. The old license was transferred to their prior landlord at 10 South Street, so there's no issue of having a second license or anything like that. This new location, 623 South Broadway, this is an entertainment area. There's numerous restaurant and bar facilities in that area. In fact, there's 34 licensees in the immediate vicinity. The facility that they're moving into was a restaurant previously, although it's been vacant now for several years. So there's no change into the character of the building itself in terms of putting a restaurant in that space. And this restaurant is of the kind and character that's going to enhance the experience for people in that area. Family-oriented, sit-down restaurant, not a nightclub, not going loud music into all hours of the night, that sort of thing. As I said, it's been vacant for some time, so bringing in a busy restaurant to this facility is going to increase the number of people who are there and the visibility and enhance the safety of the area.
We also have a letter from Fells Point Main Street in support.
Correct,
So that's
yes.
part of the record.
Yes, there is a public desire for this restaurant. It was very popular and successful in their old facility, and as you mentioned, Main Street is very interested in having them join in. And their letter echoes many of the same points that I've just raised.
Okay, commissioners have questions?
No question.
No questions.
Anything further, Mr. Cater?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. On the basis of the materials contained in the application, the proffer from counsel, any testimony received, as well as the documentary evidence, I vote to approve the application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license with outdoor table service.
Based upon the application, the proffer from council, I too would approve this new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license with outdoor table service.
Yes, based on the testimony and materials provided today, I also vote to approve the application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license and the request for outdoor table service.
Ms. Russell?
Medical exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, letter of support from Fells Point Main Street. Board Exhibit 2, floor plan.
Thank you, counsel, and good luck, Mr. Sandoval.
Good luck.
That concludes this matter before the board. Council's received instructions on the documentation that must be submitted to obtain the new license that the board preliminarily approved today. Shall we move forward, Mr. Chair?
Please.
Item number 4 on the docket has been moved to a later portion of the docket today, leading us to item number 5 on today's docket. BAPS Enterprise LLC, trading as Six Packs and More. Premises are located at 6612 Belair Road. This is an application to transfer ownership and requesting delivery of alcoholic beverages of a Class A beer, wine, and liquor license.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, Gary Mazel on behalf of the applicants. If I could proffer,
Go ahead.
these folks applied for the transfer of this license. Like this is in a small strip center that's been there. The applicants had 10 years' experience in working in a packaged good business. He previously worked at Scott's Liquor. He is alcohol awareness certified.
Can I stop you for a second? Who are you speaking about?
That is, I'm sorry, that's Pinka Pena.
And is he behind you? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes,
And
Pinka Pena.
is Tori Lynn Miller here also? Okay.
Yes, she is here also.
All right, thank you.
She is not TAM certified at this time, but she is scheduled this week to get her certificate. These folks are very familiar with the alcohol business, packaged good business. They have been down there. They're very familiar with the problems plagued in Baltimore City. They have examined the the facility determined that there are security cameras within there. They've made arrangements to have full access to their cameras by the police department. Should any problems arise, they know how to operate the security systems, and that's one of their priorities. They're also reaching out to all applicable communities in the area. They have a list. There's a list of maybe 10 different overlapping community organization. Harbell is one of them. They're going to reach out to Harbell and the other applicable community associations to introduce themselves, to participate and go to meetings to help the communities in the battling any type of crime or any adverse consequences. They're familiar with the rules and regulations of the Liquor Board. They understand what's required for the delivery of alcoholic beverages and the regulations and what they have to do. So they're anxious to take it over. If the board has any questions of these folks.
Well, if they have any difficulty in making contact with community organizations, we can assist. We have a community liaison individual, so contact the Liquor Board for help if you need it. Commissioners have questions?
No questions.
Okay. All right, thank you then. On the basis then of the materials contained in the application and the proffer from council, and any testimony that was received, I vote to approve the application to transfer ownership of this Class A beer, wine, and liquor license with delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Based upon the application, the proffer, I too would approve this application to transfer ownership with delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Based on the testimony materials provided today, I also vote to approve the application to transfer ownership and the request of delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Ms. Russell.
Thank you very much, John.
No exhibits for the record.
All right, thank you. Good
Very
luck,
good luck.
folks.
That concludes this matter before the board. Council is receiving instructions from this agency on how to legally complete the transfer that the board preliminarily approved today, which by law must occur within 180 days of today's hearing. Shall we move forward, Mr. Chair?
Yes, please.
Item number 6 on the docket, New MJ Singh LLC, trading as Brooklyn Liquors, 3525 to 27 South Hanover Street. This is an amended application to transfer ownership of a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
For the record, Norman J. Kadensky representing the applicant in this case. This is an amendment of a license that was approved. There's a lady.
We approved it in March of 2022.
I think that, I don't want to have my back then. This was originally approved in March of 2022 due to problems they're having with a lot of city agencies, including the fire department. We had to do an amended application in the case. Everything else is the same other than that. And we're hopefully going to resolve the issues with the fire department. It has to do with 200 square feet somehow. It's beyond me, but you can't talk to anybody, so I'm trying to, the council person in the office is trying to help us to get in to do that.
So there's no change in the licensees or
Nope.
a corporate structure or anything else?
It's a new corporation, a new.
New corporation?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, have you seen these?
I never see that. I don't understand why they don't send them to anybody.
Well, we just got it this morning, it looks
Well, they're
like.
not objective. It just came this morning. It's,
Well, this one did, yeah.
So, if it's any consolation, it didn't get sent to me either, Mr. Kadensky.
was it? You don't get it either?
So have they had any communication with this Action Baybrook?
No, and, I mean, first time I saw this young lady here was about a week ago in a zoning case, but that was it. And there was no either in the other one before, and this place has been there 10 years. There's no violations if you look at them.
I know, they don't have any violations.
No.
So you mentioned that the council person is working with you?
The one person from the council merchants was trying to get us in touch with somebody at the fire
Is
department.
that Councilwoman Porter?
Yep.
So
I think
she's
Mr.
helping?
Reisinger's old.
So she's helping you, but she's opposing you?
I don't know if she's opposed to me. I never talked to her. I talked to her here the other day when she was here, and she seemed like a very nice person up till now.
Well, I would encourage your clients to make contact with them and try and resolve any issues. You haven't had any problems in the past. I don't know what their issues are because they didn't give us time to digest any of this, but see if you can resolve whatever those
Yeah,
are.
we will.
We filed our objections timely.
Oh,
Mr.
s-
Chairman, on Tuesday
I'm
by
sorry,
11
you weren't
o'clock.
sworn, it's okay. Can you raise your right hand? I didn't realize you were here in the opposition.
I'm here now.
Okay.
Do you swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and the statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, and your name, please?
Jan Evelyn?
And are you the person who sent this for
Yes.
action
yes.
paper?
My signature appears on the third page.
Oh, okay, all right. I didn't realize that's who you were, I'm sorry. Okay, you want to explain then?
Yes,
Can you please step up to the microphone?
sure. We are a community organization that represents the Brooklyn and Curtis Bay areas of Baltimore City. And we filed this objection on two bases. The first is that the amended application fails to meet the requirements of this board and therefore should not have been accepted in the first place. And the second is that Mr. Singh is a detriment to the community, and therefore we oppose a transfer of a license to him. And Mr. Reisinger is actually quite familiar with Mr. Singh.
Are you, Commissioner?
Yes, was the council posted yes back then.
Okay. Do you want to address any of this?
I just want to say that, to share with my colleagues, that Action Community Group is very active on the ground with the community. So I understand your concern, you know. Mr. Chair, I just want to know what is the major concerns or the concerns that the community of Brooklyn has with him, you know, because it's been 2-3 years since I've been retired. So is there anything new? Can you share that with I and my colleagues, the commission?
Sure, absolutely. One of the major issues we have, and it's exhibit, I believe, E to what we filed, and that is our community impact statement regarding Mr. Singh, which we testified to in a hearing for violation notices, with the city seeking in excess of $200,000 in fines for Mr. Singh's continued violations unabated. So that is in the community impact statement.
Sorry, but so these are not liquor board violations. Whose violations are they?
They are Baltimore City violations.
For what?
I believe they are,
Environmental? Is that what it's in?
the violation list, I believe, is in the text of the objection,
Yeah, I just,
specifically with respect to this property. That would be the violations on page 3 of our initial submission. Those are the ones for this property specifically, that are relevant to occupying it for purposes of selling alcohol. And the violations, which are the last about 6 or 7 pages of our submission, are all of the violations for, Mr. Singh owns 3 properties which are all right next to each other. And these violations are for all of those properties, including 3525, which is where he proposes to accept the transferred license.
Mr. Chair, yeah, and my colleague, I see with the citations without permits, the advertising, work permits, so it's basically a lot of HCD, housing and violations that's come through him in the environmental control also. Am I
Yeah,
correct?
correct. And an illegal junkyard as well, Councilman.
That's in the rear yard that we went there that one day and saw.
Yes, that's the one you
I'll give
were
it to you.
at.
Okay.
I don't want to get in it because that's not, has to do with the license itself. We've been in an ongoing battle with the environmental. A lot of them been dismissed. We're in a case right now, and it includes, 111 Chesapeake, a couple other, but not regarding the operation of this business, which hasn't been operated there. It came as a result of a fellow that this license came from Tapsco Avenue, was moved there, the fellow died, and there was somebody before when he bought the place, it was a complete, boats were there, and visiting cars, he's been trying to take care of that, but it has nothing to do with the operation of the liquor, but there's no liquor violations in there.
I just, only thing I'm saying, Counselor, is that the impact regards to the community, that's my only concern or question. I know it's liquor license transfer, but they would, you know, hope you understand what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say here.
I got it, but I'm saying is it seems like there's a lot of times overkill, and I see that the council person said she never talked to me. I talked to her right here. She was here a week or two ago. I mean, so I mean, there's a lot of misinformation as well as misspelling the man's name, but that's neither here nor here. He was approved before. I'm in trouble with the fire department with a lot of people, and that's, you know, he's trying to clean the place up.
Were you here when we approved this in March?
No, we were not aware at that time.
Because, so the.
We've only recently, thanks to a grant from Baltimore City, we've only recently had the personnel to actually follow up on a lot of these problems. And that's why you saw us for another problem liquor company on Potee, 3720 Potee, about 3 weeks ago. And you're seeing us here, and you will see us in future at any problem liquor establishments.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time understanding how it impacts their liquor license without any violations. But why did you amend? Because, did you change something in the application?
No, we had to file the amended application because the 270-day rule was going to run out. And the fire department, for some reason, has there's 200 square feet that they were approved before. They're arguing about this 200 square feet and I then went to the council person and talked with Ms. Reese as the council, Ms. Porter said. And I did talk to Ms. Porter here when I was here for not Potee Street. I didn't do Potee Street, but she was here. But, and she said, continue to talk with Ms. Javon Harris, and then that's what we're trying to do.
Okay.
That's a separate issue.
Okay.
And just to clarify, Mr. Chair, you're correct. It's the business entity as the material amendment that was filed, and that's what's different from the
That's
original.
what's before us today. Okay.
Yes.
Commissioners have any other questions?
Yeah,
Okay.
we would repeat our objections based on the failure of the amended application to meet the requirements of this commission, and therefore it should not be accepted by the commission.
I appreciate that. Our staff has held to the contrary, but, you know, you're entitled to your position as well.
Well, it's my understanding that the staff does not have the time to engage in the kind of investigation that we have engaged in and presented the evidence to you.
Okay. And that is with respect to this LLC in particular?
That's with respect to this amended application in particular, yes. There are not the signatures of 3 qualified voters, and we present that in Exhibit A. Compare the signature that was filed with the amended application with Ms. Unterreither's actual signature as it appears on notarized documents and land records. That has to do with the problem with the quote-unquote old corporation was that the state of Maryland had determined that the old corporation was forfeited and therefore could not obtain a tax certificate, which, as I understand it, would be required. Apparently, and I don't know, I haven't heard any refutation of this by counsel, but apparently the notary is not actually a notary, according to the state of Maryland.
So, I'm sorry, you're saying that this signature on your Exhibit A and the one on the following page are not the same? How do you know that? They look the same to me.
Mary Unterreimer's signature looks the same?
Yeah.
Wow. To me, Mary Untermeyer's signature looks exactly like Charles Untermeyer's signature on.
Similar, I
page
agree.
1.
Well, they're Hutton, right? I know the Hutton brothers. He's a former city employee, and he lived on Kenwood Avenue, and they're related to my secretary. So I know the Hutton brothers. They're actually down in Florida right now.
But we don't have, I mean, I think we need some expert testimony to determine that. We approved it, is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, I'm
Back in
sorry,
March.
but I'm not buying that argument. Do you have anything further? No. All right, thank you. On the basis of the materials contained in the amended application, the proffer from council and the testimony received, I vote to approve the amended application to transfer ownership of this Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. I do that on the basis of the fact that we've had no violations before the board with respect to this. These other issues are probably going to be litigated in other fora, and that's fine. but they're not in our jurisdiction. So you may continue to oppose them wherever those things are. And thank you for your input, but that's where we are. Commissioners?
Based upon the application, the proffer and testimony, I too would approve the amended application to transfer ownership. We've already approved this application. This was just to change the corporate structure because of fire department delays and issues, as I understand them. And to the chairman's point, I think there are other forums like the Environmental Control Board where his other properties should be addressed. I don't think that is before us today.
Commissioner?
Yes, based on the testimony materials provided today in the letter from the lawyer, to explain my vote, there are other issues regards to different agencies that probably need to be addressed, and that would come through the working with the city council person and her staff. But I vote to approve the amended application to transfer ownership.
Ms. Russell?
Board of Exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, letter of opposition from Councilwoman Porter. Board Exhibit 2, community opposition to extension of time and amended transfer of liquor license.
All right, thank you, folks.
Thank you.
That concludes this matter before the board. Council is receiving instructions from this agency on how to legally complete the transfer of ownership, which by law must occur within 180 days of today's approval preliminarily by the board. Shall we move forward?
Yes, let's do.
It's my,
Can I ask one clarifying question? When does the 180 days start? Today?
yes, it's section 12-1705 of,
Just asking for
yeah,
clarification.
yes,
Thank you.
yes, ma'am. It's my understanding that the board is prepared to recall item number 4.
Sure, if they're ready.
So recalling item number 4, new R&J LLC, trading as trade name pending. Premises are located at 5523 Bel Air Road. This is an application to transfer ownership requesting outdoor table service of a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Good morning, Mr. Hurdle.
Abraham Hurdle, on behalf of New R&J.
Okay, where are we?
So an MOU was discussed. We had a meeting with the community last Thursday. There seemed to be some confusion as to a couple of points. I do have a copy of the most recent MOU. One of the concerns was the hours. I guess that was a recent concern. And the other was a significant presence in security. My clients plan to have security present Fridays and Saturdays. There was a request that we have it 20 hours a day for 2 months and then revisit with the community to reduce it, which I think is a step too many. But we did clear up some confusion with Ms. Jackson from the Frankfurt Community Association. I do have a copy. I thought I had more copies. I think I handed them out in the hallway of what had been given to me. And there's a couple of notes on here in terms of adding City Watch to this, community meeting attendance, and making sure we have a clear trash plan, which we plan to work out and kind of clean up this MOU that has no signature line on it. I would be happy to present this to the board. We will continue negotiating an MOU going forward.
Well, let's get everybody sworn, okay? Folks, please raise your right hands.
Under the penalty of perjury, that the answers that you give and the statements that you make to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
So the person to your right is your client,
Mr. Rishi, that's correct.
Okay. And the ladies behind you?
Bernita Blackwell.
Ms.
Come on
Blackwell
up,
was one of
if
the
you don't mind
prospective
coming up
licensees.
to the,
Ms. Blackwell, why don't you stand on this side if it's possible? And Ms.
Okay,
Jackson.
you're one of the prospective licensees, is that correct? And ma'am, your name is?
Barbara Fultz Jackson,
Ms. Jackson, okay. And you represent whom?
Frankfurt Improvement Association Incorporated, and Walterson Community Association.
Okay. And you've been meeting with Mr. Hurdle this morning and our liaison, right?
Yes, I just met with them.
So you're satisfied with the fact that you're going to try to resolve this through a memorandum of understanding?
Always like to make sure we can do that.
Okay. Okay, so at this point, you're not opposing him?
Not at this point. I
Okay.
don't know, I hope Walterson doesn't, but I don't.
Okay.
As the one, and I have had quite a few bars and come down here quite a many times and taken care of some things.
I remember you.
Yeah, you know what I'm speaking of.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. All right, continue, Mr. Hurdle.
Thank you. With me is Mr. Rishi, who is the prospective 100% licensee, and Ms. Blackwell, who is the 0% city resident. Both of these folks currently are working at the bar under a management agreement. They both have between them about 9 years of experience. I believe they are both alcohol awareness certified, and it is our absolute goal to have everyone working at the bar be alcohol awareness certified. We are aware that since it's a tavern license, that any packaged goods must, if there's a packaged goods being sold, that the bar itself has to be open, that can't be closed in the background. They're aware they have to order from wholesalers, and they're familiar with all the other rules and regulations. One of the things we're trying to do is get a sign-in book for the police department, and Mr. Ockheimer is going to help us with that, I believe, as will Ms. Jackson. She's got a little more pull than I do to get some of these things done. And our hope is that we will be a benefit to the community. I know this establishment has had some concerns in the past. Our goal is to not only do a good job for the bar and the patrons, but for the community as well, because I think that will be best for everyone involved.
Yeah, they had issues just last year, so they need to be vigilant about that. Okay. Commissioners have questions?
No question.
No questions.
And so, to the extent you're in agreement, will these terms be made part of the license? Or not signed yet?
There will be an MOU. I think that should, I think some of the things that are missing from there are, we're not allowed to sell to minors. I don't think that's on the MOU that was given to us. Obviously, we're not going to. It's a standard term. We're going to have cigarette receptacles outside because that's something also is pretty common in these situations. We're going to put together a slightly cleaner version over the next couple of days and get that ironed out.
Okay. Well, okay. Commissioners have any questions?
No question.
All right, thank you. On the basis then of the materials contained in the application, proffer from council and testimony received, I vote to approve the application to transfer ownership of this BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license with outdoor table service when the MOU is submitted, and to the extent it's enforceable by law, I make it part of the license, okay?
Based upon the application, the proffer, and the testimony, I too would approve the transfer of ownership with outdoor table service, and when the MOU is executed and submitted, it will be attached to the license to the extent it's enforceable by law.
Yes, based on testimony and materials provided today, I also vote to approve the application to transfer ownership of BD7 beer, wine, liquor license and requesting outdoor table service with the inclusion of the MOU.
Ms. Russell?
I call exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, letter in opposition from Walterson Improvement Association.
Mr. Hurd, I'm giving you these back because you may need them, okay?
Sure. Can I get these actually to Ms. Russell
You may.
as Exhibit 2
Sure.
for the record?
Yes, they'll be received. Thank you. Thank you, folks. Good luck. Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
Do we recall the exhibits?
Yeah, can you,
You too.
can you call that for?
Going to recall the exhibits. Board Exhibit 1, letter of opposition from Walterson Improvement Association. Exhibit number 2, draft MOU.
Thank you.
That concludes this matter before the board. Council's received instructions on how to legally complete the transfer of ownership that the board preliminarily approved this morning, which by law must occur within 180 days of today's hearing. Shall we move forward?
Yes, please.
Moving back around in order, item number 7 on today's docket. DY Brothers LLC trading as JP's. Premises are located at 528 South Bolden Street. This is an application to transfer ownership of a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
All right, good morning. Stephen W. Fogelman on behalf of the applicants.
Good morning. We heard this in 2020, but it's expired, so we're going to...
That's exactly what happened. Thank you. Yeah, it's the same owner, Deepak Khatri. He's been running the establishment since COVID. There was a delay when his attorney of record died, and so he is here today to have the transfer approved again so that he can complete it. Thank you very much.
And nothing's changed?
Nothing's changed at all. He's already alcohol awareness certified, as will, as far as I know, all of his servers.
Okay, and there are no violations. So commissioners have any questions?
No question.
No questions.
All right, thank you. On the basis of the materials contained in this application and the proffer from council, and on the basis of testimony that was taken previously on this case, I vote to approve the application to transfer ownership of this BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Based upon the application, the proffer, I too would approve this application to transfer ownership, but it's been no change since our initial approval.
Yes, based on testimony and materials provided today, I also vote to approve the application to transfer ownership of the BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Ms. Russell?
No exhibits for the record.
Thank you, Mr. Fogelman.
Thank you.
That concludes this matter before the board. Council's received applicants received instructions from this agency on how to legally complete the transfer of ownership, which by law must occur within 180 days of the board's preliminary approval this morning. Shall we move forward, Mr. Chair?
Yes, please.
Item number 8 on this morning's docket, LL Pro Hospitality Baltimore LLC, trading as Revival at Mount Vernon Place. Premises are located at 612 Cathedral Street. This is a Class B beer, wine, and liquor hotel motel license and an application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment, requesting off-premises catering and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
For the record, Melvin J. Kanesky representing the applicants in this case. This is a change of corporate officers. This is for the hotel Revival. It's been there for quite some time. Miss Monique's been there for the last 3 or 4 years. Dante Johnson's been the general manager. So other than having the change in corporate officers in this matter and having the city resident added, there's been no change.
Okay, and there's no violations on our record either. So commissioners have any questions?
No questions.
No question.
All right, thank you. On the basis of the materials contained in the application, proffer from council, I vote to approve this application to transfer ownership of this Class B beer, wine, and liquor hotel motel license with continued live entertainment, off-premises catering, and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Based upon the application, the proffer, I too would approve this application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment, off-premise catering, and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Yes, based on the testimony and materials provided today, I also vote to approve the application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment and the request for off-premise catering and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Ms. Russell?
No exhibits for the record.
All right, thank you. Good luck.
That concludes this matter before the board. Council's received instructions from this agency on how to legally complete the transfer of ownership that the board preliminarily approved this morning, which by law must occur within 180 days of today's hearing. Shall I move forward, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Item number 9, ERS Incorporated, trading as Steampunk Alley, 870 Park Avenue. This is an application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment of a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Thank you. Stephen W. Fogelman on behalf of applicant and licensee Kim Thompson.
It's another expired
It
one.
sure is. It's another, well, no. This one is actually Mr. Ron Singer and Mr. Kim Thompson have been on this license together for years. Mr. Singer is leaving the license. Mr. Thompson is taking over full operations. But like I said, he has been vetted before by this board
Yes.
a few times, and he's alcohol management certified. We'll certify that the rest of his staff is as well.
Okay. Commissioners have any questions?
No questions.
No question.
All right, thank you. On the basis of the materials contained in the application, the proffer from council, I vote to approve the application to transfer ownership of this BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license with continued live entertainment.
Based upon the application, the proffer, I too would approve this application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment.
Based on the testimony and materials provided today, I also vote to approve the application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment.
Ms. Russell?
No exhibits for the record.
All right, thank you. Good luck, sir.
Good luck.
That concludes this matter before the board. Applicant has received instructions from this agency on how to legally complete this transfer of ownership that the board preliminarily approved this morning, which by law must occur within 180 days of today's hearing. Moving forward, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Item number 10 on today's docket, 1415 Washington LLC, trading as trade name pending. Premises are located at 1415 Washington Boulevard. This is an application to transfer ownership requesting off-premises catering and delivery of alcoholic beverages of a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Harry Previs on behalf of the applicants. Step up here. If I may proceed by proffer.
You may. Introduce your clients, please.
This is Mr. Alex Aaron, and this is his father, Mr. Benjamin Aaron.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Go ahead.
This is a transfer of a BD7 license, and I don't know if it was noted in the application, there's also going to be an expansion to the second floor from the previous license. Alex here has been working hard. He's a developer. He saw a great investment opportunity in this premises, and he's put a lot of work and blood, sweat, and tears into this property to get it up to snuff so far. And in the application, there's also a zoning application to expand to the second.
That hasn't gone through the zoning board yet?
It's been approved by the board, but he's still working on the use and occupancy.
Okay.
Mr. Aaron is planning on being tip certified before the license the transfer is completed.
And he's going to be the managing all the alcohol?
Yes, Alex will be.
Okay. And we have a letter of support from Pigtown Main Street, so make that part of the record as well. Commissioners have questions?
No question.
No question.
All right, anything further, Mr. Rivas?
No, thank
All
you,
right, on the
Mr.
basis of the materials contained in the application, the exhibit received, and the proffer from council, I vote to approve the application to transfer ownership of this BG7 beer, wine, and liquor license with off-premises catering and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Based upon the application, the proffer, the letter of support from the Pigtown Main Street, I too would approve this transfer of ownership with off-premise catering and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Based on the testimony and materials provided today, I also vote to approve the application to transfer ownership and the request for off-premise catering and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Ms. Russell?
I'd like to call exhibits for the record. Letter of support from Pigtown Main Street.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rivas. Good luck, gentlemen.
That concludes this matter before the board. Council's received instructions on how to legally complete this transfer of ownership, which the board preliminarily approved this morning, which by law must occur within 180 days of today's hearing. Moving forward, Mr. Chair.
Please.
Item number 11 on this morning's docket. Boston Street Seafood LLC, trading as Bo Brooks, 1270 Boston Street. This is an application to transfer ownership with a continuation of outdoor table service, requesting off-premises catering and delivery of alcoholic beverages of a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Good morning, Ms. Fogelman.
Good morning. For the record, Stephen W. Fogelman on behalf of the applicants.
I'm getting a menu.
Yes, perhaps some photos as well.
Photos, yes, thank you.
All right.
Getting near lunchtime, so.
I know. Tell me about it. So, I'll make this speedy. This is an application. This is an intra-company transfer of stock and an expansion of premises request. Christopher Hannon is with me, as well as his sister, Tracy Ann Newman. Their father, Herman J. Hannon, who's currently on the license, is deceased. So we're asking to remove him and to have Miss Newman added in that regard. Additionally, the premises known as Lighthouse Liquors, part of the premises here, has expanded. There was a property that housed a 7-Eleven on Boston Street, and that has now been taken over by the operations that you have the photos of. They've expanded. It was already a liquor store and tavern. They have greatly expanded their food selection in the expanded side of the premises, as you can see. And they get a lot of business, a lot of what I would call bar business, in the sense that a lot of people come in, have beers, and have stuff to eat there. It's kind of becoming an alternative to, to all the different pubs you can go to. So they're asking that you bless that expanded footprint there.
So is this still Bo Brooks, or?
No, well, this is the Lighthouse
Okay.
portion and component of Bo Brooks.
Oh, okay.
Bo Brooks, the restaurant, as you and I know, is closed.
Oh, okay.
And there's uncertainty. I mean, there's obviously going to be plans. It's not going to be left for for any significant amount of time, but that's owned by someone else. And there are some plans in the works that I'm sure they'll be coming before you this year.
I know for the record there are no violations on this license. So, Commissioners have any questions?
No questions.
No question.
All right, thank you. On the basis then of the materials contained in the application, the proffer from council, and the exhibits received, I vote to approve this application to transfer ownership of this BG7 beer, wine, and liquor license with continued outdoor table service, off-premise catering, and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Based upon the application, the proffer, I too would approve the application to transfer ownership with continuation of outdoor table service, off-premise catering, and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Yes, based on testimony and materials provided today, I also vote to approve the application to transfer ownership with continuation of outdoor table service and the request for off-premise catering and delivery of alcoholic beverages. Good luck.
Thank you.
Ms. Russell?
I'd like to call exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, menu. Board Exhibit 2, photos.
Thank you. Good luck, folks.
That concludes this matter before the board. Council's received instructions from this agency on how to legally complete the transfer of ownership, which by law must occur within 180 days of today's preliminary approval by the board. Shall we move forward, Mr. Chair?
Yes, please.
Item number 12 on today's docket, Pizza Ole Incorporated, trading as Nacho Mama's. Premises are located at 2907 to 11 O'Donnell Street. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license and a request to add live entertainment.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, would you have any interest in hearing this one and the next one together, since they're virtually identical applications
Yes,
with
we
the
can
same
hear them.
licensee?
We can hear
You
them.
want me to call it then?
Yes, go ahead.
Also calling item number 13, Blaze Incorporated, trading as Mamas on the Half Shell, 2901 O'Donnell Street, holders of a Class B beer, wine, and liquor license. Also a request to add live entertainment to said license.
Thank you very much. Caroline Hecker, Rosenberg, Martin, Greenberg, on behalf of the applicant. I'm joined by my colleague Drew Tilden and Jackie McCusker, who is our individual licensee applicant on both licenses. For
Very
clarification.
familiar with your licensee. She's lightened up my Thanksgivings for many years.
Oh, fabulous. Well, for the board's clarification, the license that is used at Nacho Mamas is a BD7 license. It's held in a trust of which Ms. McCusker is the trustee for, that was established under the estate of her late husband. She's also the licensee in her individual capacity on the Class B license held by Mamas on the Half Shell 2 doors down. Both of these applications are to add live entertainment to both licenses. Ms. Tilden passed out files that have some exhibits. They have floor plans that show the proposed locations of the live entertainment. It'll just be a small 1 or 2 piece band in either location. They're basically removing one table and replacing it with a small area for the band. We've worked very closely with the Canton Community Association on both of these, and you'll see an MOU for each restaurant in the file. We also had to go to the zoning board for approval for both locations. The zoning board approved both locations to have live entertainment, and copies of those approvals are also in the file. There is an MOU, as I mentioned, with the Canton Community Association. It establishes hours of operation and other operational items related to the live entertainment at both locations. We would request that those MOUs be incorporated into the licenses for both of them. The only substantive difference between the two restaurants on the MOUs is the hours of operation for live entertainment. In both cases, they've agreed that they won't have live entertainment more than 4 days per week. The hours vary slightly between the two restaurants, but we would request for all of those reasons that the board approve the live entertainment at both restaurants.
The only admonition I would add is for people like Commissioner Reisinger and myself who are of an advanced age, we can't hear anything when there's live entertainment going on. We can't even talk with the people at our table. So keep that in mind when you do this, okay? Otherwise, on the basis of the materials contained in the applications and the proffers from council and the exhibits received, I'd vote to approve the request to add live entertainment on this BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license at Nacho Mamas, as well as on the beer, wine, and liquor license at Mamas on the Half Shell.
Based upon the application, the proffer, the exhibits, I too would grant the request to add live entertainment for both Nacho Mamas and Mamas on the Half Shell with the MOU attached to the license to the extent it's enforceable by law.
Yes, based on testimony materials provided today, I also vote to request add live entertainment with the MOU incorporated with both license, Nacho Mama and Mama on the Half Shell.
Ms. Russell?
Medical exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, business plan.
And for clarity, Mr. Chair, did you wish for the MOU to be?
Yeah, I assumed it was already in operation, but yes, I want it to be applied to both licenses to the extent it's enforceable.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Hecker. Good luck. Good night to see you.
That concludes these matters before the board. Council will receive instructions on what documents to submit in order to get the live entertainment added to both licenses as the board approved. And I believe Ms. Hecker was going to ask a request of the board.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Bundy. Mr. Chair, I have one other matter that's a very short hardship extension. That's
ahead.
number 21 on
Let's
the docket.
call it.
If Mr.
Then-
Woolman will indulge me, because I know he's got the next matter.
Moving out of order, then calling item, that's 21, right?
Thank you.
Item number 21, a 90-day transfer hardship request, Market Fresh Gourmet at Poppleton Incorporated, trading as trade name pending. Proposed premises are located at 101 North Schroeder Street, suite number 4. This is a request for a transfer hardship extension of 90 days under the provisions of the Alcoholic Beverages Article 12-1705B for a Class A beer and light wine license.
And this is a request is based on work holdups.
Yes, exactly. Caroline Hecker, Rosenberg, Martin Greenberg. On behalf of the applicant, I have with me 2 of our licensee applicants who are both owners of the license, Mr. Knight and Mr. Miner. The hardship extension is based on construction delays. We had been hoping to be open by now. We expect to be open shortly. It'll be this spring, but the 180-day period expired on February 7th, and so we are requesting the additional 90 days to finish the construction and get open.
Commissioners have questions?
No questions.
No questions.
All right, thank you. On the basis then of the proffer this morning and your letter of February 3, 2023 explaining the request, I vote to approve a 90-day transfer hardship extension for this license.
Based upon the proffer, the February 3rd letter, and I too would grant the transfer hardship extension of 90 days.
Yes, based on the testimony, materials, the letter from the attorney, I also vote to approve the request for transfer hardship extension of 90 days.
Ms.
Thank
Russell?
you very much.
No exhibits for the record.
All right, thank you. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Good luck.
That concludes this matter before the board. Shall we move back in order, Mr. Chair?
Please.
Item number 14 on today's docket, Tizjack Incorporated, trading as Palm. Property or premises are located at 25 East Cross Street. This is a request to add live entertainment to a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. My name is Joe Woolman, I represent the owner and applicant. Mr. Dalloway is the owner of the property. He's standing to my right. I don't know if you want to swear him or not.
If you want him to speak, I would. Okay, why don't you proffer?
Very well. I'll hand in an outline. For the record, for the contents of the outline, basically submit the requirements under Section 410A, 4210A of the Alcoholic Beverages article, that we meet those requirements.
What's the nature
This is
of
a
the
request. I'm
live
sorry?
entertainment? What's the nature of the live entertainment?
Perhaps Mr. Dalloway should answer that question.
Why don't you raise your right hand?
Please swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answer that you give in the statement that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, why don't you speak into the microphone? Thank you.
The nature is just acoustic small acts, very similar to what the previous hearing you just heard. 1 to 3 people bands, nothing crazy, no pyrotechnics or anything.
Okay, and you'll be kind to older folks?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
I actually once tried a new restaurant with my wife and another friend, and it was very small. I mean, maybe 4 or 5 tables. And they had a guy playing guitar standing right next to us, and we couldn't speak through the entire meal. We couldn't hear one another. And the food was great, and the music was nice, but it's not the way you want to enjoy an evening. I guess it's just when you get up to a certain age, it's hard. But anyway, that's why I make that point. Any commissioners have questions?
No, I just want to add that regards to this establishment, my past history and experience, that they've been very receptive to the community, helping the community regards to that establishment.
Good, thank you. Okay, on the basis of the materials contained in the application, the proffer from council and testimony received, as well as the exhibit from Mr. Woolman, I vote to approve this request to add live entertainment to this BG7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Based upon the application, the proffer, and the exhibit, I too would grant the request to add live entertainment.
Yes, based on the testimony and materials provided today, I also vote to approve the request to add live entertainment for the BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael, exhibits for the record.
Please.
Board Exhibit 1, business plan.
Thank you. Good luck.
That concludes this matter before the board. Council's received instructions on how to submit documents to legally complete the live entertainment edition that the board preliminarily approved today. Shall I move forward, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Item number 15 on the docket, Havana Management Incorporated, trading as Little Havana. Premises are located at 1325 Key Highway. This is a request to add live entertainment to a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Again, Joe Woolman on behalf of the applicant who's standing to my right. Her name is Brittany Talbot. She's actually the manager of the establishment. This is Little Havana. Commissioners may be familiar. This is the waterfront establishment. It's been there for quite some time on Key Highway. The spelling of my last name, if you were asking for the record, is W-O-O-L-M-A-N. I'll again submit an outline, outlining the requirements under Section 4-210A of the Alcoholic Beverages article, and submit that we comply with those requirements regarding this request for live entertainment. Also contained in that outline, and the previous outline for that matter, is a copy of the BMZA decisions granting live entertainment for both these establishments.
Let's swear Ms. Talbot for a second so I can ask her about.
Please swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give in the statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Good morning, or is it afternoon?
Still morning, Mr. Chair.
We're getting there. Can you tell us what kind of live entertainment you plan?
So at this time, it's more for private parties. We do a Cinco de Mayo party, that kind of stuff. We're not planning on doing weekly entertainment.
Oh, okay. Commissioners have questions?
No questions.
No questions.
All right, thank you. All right, on the basis of the materials contained in the application, the proffer from council, testimony received in the exhibit, which was provided by Mr. Woolman, I vote to approve the request to add live entertainment to this BG7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Based upon the application, the proffer, the testimony, and the exhibit, I too would grant the request to add live entertainment.
Yes, based on the testimony and materials provided today, I also vote to approve the request to add live entertainment to BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Ms. Russell?
Board Exhibit 1, business plan.
Thank you. Good luck.
Good luck.
That concludes this matter before the board. Council received instructions on how to submit the required documentation to legally complete the addition of live entertainment the board preliminarily approved today. Shall we move forward, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Item number 16 on today's docket has been postponed, will be heard at a future date of the board, bringing us to item number 17 of the docket. Secured creditor trading as no trade name, 2218 Boston Street. This is a request for a 180-day hardship extension under the provisions of the Alcoholic Beverages Article 12-2202 of a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Good morning. My name is Craig Levers. I'm actually the Chapter 7 bankruptcy trustee. The request for a hardship was made by me and not by the secured creditor. The license at issue was issued to a Daniel Coker for use by Bartenders, Inc., and Bartenders, Inc. filed bankruptcy, Chapter 7 bankruptcy on August 1st, 2022. Pursuant to Section 541 of the Bankruptcy Code, the liquor license is property of the bankruptcy estate. And pursuant to Section 704 of the Bankruptcy Code, I'm required as the Chapter 7 bankruptcy trustee to sell property of the estate for the benefit of the creditors. And then pursuant to Section 363 of the Bankruptcy Code, I'm required to obtain a court order by the bankruptcy court seeking authorization to sell property of the bankruptcy estate. Since the commencement of the bankruptcy case, I've been attempting to sell the liquor license. We procured a buyer. The buyer is Hurley Comedy, which I've been told has made an application for transfer a couple weeks ago. And at this point in time, I have, if you would like it, a copy of the agreement that was signed yesterday. I'll be filing a motion for approval with the bankruptcy court either today or tomorrow. So we're just waiting for bankruptcy court approval. And in the interim, I'm looking for an extension, 180-day hardship extension, so that we can wrap things up.
Okay. So this is a 180-day request?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Commissioners have questions?
No questions.
No questions.
All right, thank you. Do you want that made part of the record or not?
If you don't mind, I brought it for you. Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
All right, this will be received. On the basis of the materials contained in the record, which is Mr. Lever's letter of January 20, 2023, is proffered this morning in the exhibit, I vote to approve his request for a 180-day hardship extension for this license.
Based upon the letter of January 20, 2023, the proffer, I too would grant this request for a 180-day hardship extension.
That's based on the testimony, materials, and letter from the attorney. I also vote to approve the request for hardship extension of 180 days.
Ms. Russell.
Thank you. I'd call exhibit for the record. Board Exhibit 1, proposed contract sale.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
That concludes this matter before the board. Shall we move forward, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Item number 18 on the docket, secured creditor trading as no trade name. This is a request for a 180-day hardship extension under the provisions of the Alcoholic Beverages Article 12-2202 for a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
I was wondering how you gentlemen allowed that intruder to get into the liquor board bar, but he's a bankruptcy lawyer.
Again, for the record, Harry Previs on behalf of the applicant. Patricia Balomis with me is Vasilios Balomis. Patricia couldn't be here because she's currently in Greece taking care of her mother. And Bill Balomis is an authorized person on behalf of Balomis Properties, LLC.
So you're seeking a 90-day hardship extension?
Yes, that's correct.
It's a 180-day.
180 day?
180
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. And the reason is that it's closed and...
It's been closed since, what was that, July 18th.
Mm-hmm.
And we're currently working on a new licensee, selling it to this restaurant group that's actually going to put in a hot pot type of restaurant, Asian food.
Okay. Commissioners have questions?
No questions.
No questions.
All right, thank you. Mr. Previs, on the basis then of your letter of December 29, 2022, your proffer this morning, I vote to approve a 180-day hardship extension for this BD7 license.
Based upon the proffer and the letter from December 29, 2022, I too would grant the request for a 180-day hardship extension.
Yes, based on the testimony, materials, and letter from the attorney, I also vote to approve the request for hardship extension of 180 days.
Thank you. Good luck. Ms. Russell?
No exhibits for the record.
That concludes this matter before the board. Shall we move forward, Mr. Chair?
Yes, please.
Item number 19 on today's docket. Digital Base Center Incorporated, trading as trade name pending. Premises are located at 1229 Hull Street. This is this is a request for a 90-day transfer hardship extension under the provisions of the Alcoholic Beverages Article 12-1705B of a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Thank you, Stephen W. Fogelman, on behalf of applicants. Applicant Colby Smith was called into court today, so he was not able to be here. My letter dated February 3rd explains, and it seems like a long time ago, but we had those sub-freezing conditions right before Christmas. It went down to like 10 degrees for 2 or 3 days, blew up all the pipes in this place, just like it did with some other places I know. And and they also wanted to do extensive renovations on the place. So we definitely need more time to deal with that, and that's why we filed the request. Thank you very much.
Commissioners?
No questions. No questions.
Thank you. On the basis of the letter that you submitted on February 3, 2023, your proffer this morning, I vote to approve the request for a 90-day transfer hardship extension for this BG7 license.
Based upon the letter of February 3rd, 2023, the proffer, I too would grant this request for a transfer hardship extension for 90 days.
Based on testimony, materials, and letter from the attorney, I also vote to approve the request for transfer hardship extension of 90 days for the BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Ms. Russell?
No exhibits for the record.
Thank you.
That concludes this matter before the board. Shall we move forward, Mr. Chair?
Please.
Item number 20 on today's docket, the L Spot LLC, trading as the L Spot. This is a request for a 90-day transfer hardship extension under the provisions of the Alcoholic Beverages Article 12-1705B of a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Thank you. Stephen W. Fogelman, on behalf of the applicant, Ms. Latrina Wilson, who's here to my right. She was this close to finishing the transfer. And out of abundance of caution, we threw this in. And in fact, she pretty much finished the transfer after we filed this, like right after. But I think the staff says you can't complete the transfer until we have this hearing.
It was one day after the transfer expired.
Right. So we are here. She's in a position where she might be able to walk across the street and procure the license this afternoon. If not, then tomorrow. So thank you.
Commissioners?
No questions.
No questions.
Thank you. Mr. Fogelman, on the basis of your letter of February 7, 2023, and your proffer this morning, I vote to approve a 90-day transfer hardship extension for this BG7 license.
Thank you. I've got the last case.
Other commissioners have to vote.
That's all right. You're as anxious as we are.
Rookie mistake.
Based upon the proffer and the letter from February 7th, 2023, I too would approve a 90-day transfer hardship extension.
Thank you.
Yes, based on the testimony, materials, and letter from the attorney, I vote to approve the request for a transfer hardship extension of 90 days for the BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Ms. Russell?
No exhibits for the record.
Thank you all.
Now you may go.
That concludes this matter before the board.
One more to call.
Yeah.
Item number 21 has already been heard, moving us to item number 22, the last item on the docket. Subi and Maya LLC, trading as trade name pending. Premises are located at 5517 Harford Road. This is a request for a 90-day transfer hardship extension under the provisions of the Alcoholic Beverages Article 12-1705B of a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Thank you. Stephen W. Fogelman on behalf of the applicants. They were not able to be present today. They did write to you a letter on or about January 31st requesting. It's my understanding that they also have suffered from inspection delays and would ask for the additional time.
Okay, commissioners? Any questions?
No questions.
No questions.
All right, thank you. On the basis of Ms. Karki's, I think it's a Ms., Sushma Karki's letter of January 31, 2023, and the proffer this morning, I vote to approve a 90-day transfer hardship extension for this BD7 license.
Based upon the letter of January 31st, 2023, and the proffer, I too would grant this 90-day transfer hardship extension.
Yes, based on testimony, the letter from the applicant, and the materials provided today, I also vote to approve the request for a transfer hardship extension of 90 days for the BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Thank you.
Ms. Russell?
No exhibits for the record.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr.
That concludes this matter before the board, and that concludes the docket, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, with Larry's approval, you read the adjournment?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair.
Thank you all.
That concludes all matters before the Board of Liquor License Commissioners for today. The board shall stand in recess until Thursday, March the 9th, 2023 at 10:30 a.m. here in room 215, City Hall, 100 North Holiday Street, Baltimore, Maryland, 21202.
All right, thank you to the commissioners and to all the staff of the Liquor Board for a great job again, and we'll see you on March 9th.